Oh my goodness, these tiles are all jacked up. Oh man, trust me, this is not a test. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Blrd podcast. I am your host, Creamcast, along with our other panelists. We have Green Tuner.
Hello.
Dark Side. Yo. And myself, Creamcast. What's going on, everybody?
Not much. What's going on with you guys?
We're back again. Back at it here.
Back at it again. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yet short one person.
Sure.
Again.
Yes, we are 100% short. One person again. Who would that be? I guess it's just the Ed Underground copping out once again from coming onto the Blrd podcast. Kind of disgusting that he's not here with us. A little bit sad, a little bit upset about that. Only Toes, welcome. 2 episodes with no Ed. Wow. Yeah. That's what we're saying too. Like, why hasn't the Ed Underground shown up for 2 episodes of the Blrd podcast? Absolutely.
Why hasn't he shown himself?
I don't know, honestly. Like, he is supposed to be here. He is supposed to be, enjoying the scenery with us, talking about the freshest topics out, but he's just not here. I think it's because he has to take his cat for a walk, or his poodle or something like that. I don't know. Do you guys know why he's not around?
I don't know. Who knows what's going on with my little guy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's a whole bunch of bitch-made activities why he's not here, but that's okay. You know what? He's not here. He's with us in spirit. I believe that he's probably driving around, and well, it's not his Scion, apparently.
No.
So he's driving around something through the mean streets of Chicago.
The mean canals of Chicago.
Yeah. He's going
fair here.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He is aquatic at this point.
He pretty much is
aquatic. Yeah.
Yes, he's going through and just driving along through all the canals. So when he decides to show up,
I'm laughing at the comments.
So Only Toe says, "Get that man a GoFundMe." And Flojo, maybe his humiliation to King Cat subsided. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. It's a sad day when its humiliation king goes
away. Yeah, like I'm sad for him. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I mean, you guys keep Ed in your thoughts and prayers, and his family in your thoughts and prayers. And whenever he does show up, he'll show up. And if he doesn't, then I guess that's just the end of the trial of the Ed Underground. But in other news, we do got some other topics to go over. So, I mean, I guess without further ado, we'll just go ahead and kick those off. One of the big things that I know we wanted to discuss was Xbox news. And it hurts our heart to talk about Xbox without the Ed Underground here, because, I mean, usually when we talk about Xbox or Sony or PlayStation, there's always a person on the podcast that we can kind of rag on while we're talking about these things. For me, I'm a Sony fanboy. Green Tuner, I don't think he really cares about anything. But Sony usually comes to me, or Dark Side. Then Nintendo, it's kind of like everybody's thing. But that's more of a Dark Side situation. Dark Side's a hardcore Nintendo
number one fan.
Sucker.
Yeah, I mean,
sucker.
Some people call him sucker. Some call him.
Call me that.
Yeah, some. I mean, most call him.
The vast majority.
Yeah, I mean, however you want to break down the numbers.
Everyone calls it.
I mean, sure. I mean, majority may call on this, but you know what? We're not here to, place blame on anybody for their loyalty to their brand.
Yes.
But when it comes to Xbox and Microsoft, there's one person who just floats on top of the shit pile that is that company, and that is the Ed Underground. So I mean, we are going to talk about the current goings with Xbox at the moment and the current failures that they're
Now,
experiencing. But
is there a correlation between the Ed Underground's mysterious disappearance and Phil Spencer's mysterious disappearance of late? Both of
wow,
them have gone into hiding.
Oh,
that is
shit.
true.
Do you
It's
think they're on
very
the
odd.
run?
Who knows?
Yeah, yeah.
Who knows?
I mean,
I just think it's odd that
They're on their way to Tijuana, Mexico.
yeah, they
yeah,
might be
yeah.
hand in hand. They might be heading for the border.
Yeah,
Who
well,
knows?
well, for 2 weeks now.
Vin Diesel
mean,
style.
Yeah,
Or I'm sorry, Dominic Toretto style.
I mean, they've been gone for 2 weeks, so I mean,
I think it's more of a Thelma Louise situation, but there you go with that one.
maybe. Yeah, it's weird that Ed Underground has been missing while this Xbox news miraculously just showed up out of nowhere. I mean, Ed is their number one fan, and he does support the Xbox machine that constantly just churns out these news.
Now, to
So
be fair to Ed, he's a terrible spokesman for Xbox and Game Pass. He can't really he doesn't really promote Game Pass at all. He just continues to remind us that Game Pass was doing great for years. He's reminded us.
yes,
Recent news begs to differ, but Game Pass, he says, is doing great. He's played about 4 games on Game Pass. He's had it for about 4 years.
Yep.
So he averages about one a year.
1 a year. Yep.
And yeah, I mean,
But think of the savings.
I mean,
Sure.
it's nothing but savings. Yeah.
It's nothing but savings. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially when you're locked in for 3 years.
Yeah. I mean, he has been saving a lot of money on Xbox. So, I mean, the joke's on you, Green Tuner. Jokes is on you.
Yeah, you would have just bought Dead by Daylight for $20 like some bitch ass instead of subscribing every month.
Right?
You loser.
But I mean, the thing is, the possibility that you could play Dead by Daylight and hundreds of other games, none of which you will play, but I mean, you could play. You have the potential to play, and that in of itself is where the cost savings is at. Like the potential to play those games. I mean, it's going to be game over for you. So, I mean, congrats for saving some money, loser. I mean, you could be spending hundreds of dollars on Game Pass and have the potential to play all, 600, 700 games that are on there. But, hey, you know what? Do what you want to do with that information. You're a loser. Is the winner. It's as simple as that. Simple as that.
Yeah, let's not dwell on Ed's greatness here. I mean, let's get to some of this news. It's a shame that Ed's not here to shed light, because I think only Ed can answer some of these questions since last week, because it keeps getting better and better. Like Microsoft continues to just not know what the fuck they're doing. And you know what? It seems like other studios are also like Sony's also had its moment. We talked about, and we'll talk about Ubisoft. There's a lot of gamer discontent. There's a lot of anger in the gamer sphere lately, and I think it's just been building, right? It's just been like a lot of stuff has been building for many years, and now it's coming to pass. So, looks like the Ed Underground finally message.
House of Cards.
Yeah.
House of Cards.
Yeah, it's all falling apart at this point. I mean, let's just get into it. So, recently, Microsoft announced that Tango GameWorks, which was a subsidiary of Xbox Game Studios, they will be disbanded and they will be pretty much subsumed into Microsoft Game Studios.
Tango's not. Tango's
is it Tango GameWorks? I thought
Tango's
that was
outright shut down, and the other one, Ascension, was Arcane shut down.
Arcane.
There's a third one which I forgot, that's being absorbed into ZeniMax something for ZeniMax, or maybe I'm remembering, but the third one's being absorbed into some kind of support team for Bethesda. But the other two, straight up just getting shut down, which
Alpha Dog Studios.
Alpha Dogs. And then there's four. So there's another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so I mean the rage is out there that people are not happy, and then like we talked about it last week, but since then, I think we missed so Xbox had an opportunity to respond, right? They always have an opportunity to respond. Phil Spencer's the guy, the nice guy everyone loves. You know what I mean? He can like, he usually comes out and like addresses things head on. You know what I mean? He has in the past, and this time he's been just missing in action. Sarah Bond, she's the president of
Yes,
Xbox.
yes.
She came out in an interview for I think it was Bloomberg, but
Hmm.
she just completely like did not have any answers, which is baffling, which is mind-boggling that you do something like this and not be prepared when you're the president of a
Yes.
major international the console, like I mean, or you know, a representative for that, especially after major news drops. The fact that you're not like you don't have talking points, or you just cancel the interview,
Yeah, yeah.
or just walk off the stage. This interview is over and walk off the stage.
Mhm.
Like nothing. I don't understand. So like I just don't know. There's like a disconnect between gamers and game developers that
Mm.
is just growing and growing and growing and growing, and it seems to be 2024 is a year it comes to a head, it seems like. But yeah,
Are you sure about that though? I mean, I
what is
thought
that?
2024 was the year of the Xbox.
It's the year of the
So
Xbox, of
that's the
course.
year of the Xbox, baby. So I mean,
Years of the Xbox.
years. I
Years. It's
mean,
been the years of the
Mhm.
Xbox.
see, for
Mhm.
Yeah.
us normal folks, we
You,
usually,
you guys are thinking of like a standard like Roman calendar
yeah,
year.
Right.
yeah. That's what I was
Yeah,
gonna
this
say.
is
Yeah,
more of like a planetary year.
yeah, yeah.
So or interstellar year, whichever
Right.
It's crazy.
whichever
Yeah,
It depends what your
whichever
definition
fits.
of
the
year
year
is. Yeah.
exactly. I
Yeah,
mean, for
exactly.
us normal
We
mortals,
said it was
yeah.
it's a year on Neptune, right? Then we said
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, our year is definitely not what Xbox is planning for,
yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, every year that goes in like in the Gregorian calendar, they just go another year. I mean, until something big happens, and then it'd be like, "Hey guys, just look, we said it was a year." I mean, it kind of stretched out a little bit on both sides, but that's okay, and that's what's happening with the Xbox. It is pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. Listening to the article, or listening to the interview that Sarah Bond did, who's the Xbox president,
Mm,
was kind of her fumbling through it. It seemed like she was trying to be political and talk about these things, but a lot of times she just didn't have answers. At one point, she was asked, what was her thoughts about, um, like Arcane Studios, right?
mhm,
Arcane Studios had made Hi-Fi Rush,
mhm,
one of Xbox, if not Xbox's biggest game in recent years on the Xbox platform, especially for a brand new title that had not been created whatsoever beforehand.
mhm,
Um, there was a lot of hype around these facts, and instead of just really digging in and talking about like, hey, okay, this is the reason why we did this. This is for our forecast. This is what we're planning to do. It really kind of just fumbled and fell apart in our hands. And this is kind of telling that Xbox is doing things not for the benefit of the players, but benefit for themselves.
mhm.
Um, I
And
would say,
that contradicts everything they've been saying, and I think that's the thing that's been pissing people off, that they've kind of been saying all the right things, talking about we've on this podcast talked about how they've made a massive acquisition, and what was the purpose of that acquisition, and to have all these studios
mm,
and not give them time to develop. How long we've been talking about Fable and all these other games that have been floated out there, and like the whole idea was these big studios will buy them time to make these I mean, that was the assumption, right? When they
yeah,
got Bethesda, is the Bethesda's ready to go, Activision's ready
yeah,
to go, and then all these other games like that'll pad out the time in between releases, and it's been like nothing. I mean, like
nothing.
Starfield underperformed, right?
Yes, yes.
And Redfall fizzled. Hi-Fi Rush did well,
Mm,
and I that didn't really put out that much. And so they've, I mean, now they're facing this. Uh, I guess you know, other journalists and everything. They're talking about how Xbox is going to need to pay for that major acquisition. I can't see any of these other smaller studios surviving anything like that. Like when you look at all these, like Ed Underground's not here. I've been dying to talk to him about Ninja Theory because he loves and he's been the biggest hype machine for this game that's coming out in a week, Hellblade 2.
Yeah,
And Hellblade 2 looks great, right? But it seems like Microsoft wants that game to just slip under the rug and go away. And there's a lot of conspiracy theorists out there that they want to do that because they want to wipe out that studio and
yeah,
they don't want anyone like the Hi-Fi Rush situation, Hi-Fi Rush and the studio where you call out that the studio is really great and talented, but you want to get rid of the studio. Why else would they not promote this game 1 week out?
yeah,
A month out. A lot of people are talking about this shit.
yeah.
So it's a lot of shady ass stuff happening at Xbox that I mean, it's not that shady, it's straight up, but it's just crazy that it's happening in your face. I don't know what they're gonna do. I wish yeah,
Can
and
this just be like mass incompetence,
No,
like all around?
no, I don't think it is.
you think
I,
it's straight up evil?
I think it's straight up evil. I don't think it's incompetence. I think these people they know what they're doing, right? And
Mm,
instead of jumping in front of the camera, right? Or I was going to say the bullet, but this is kind of, I mean, this is what they're
mm,
doing. So instead of jumping in front of the camera and getting in front of this, they're kind
mm.
of just like, oh well, we're trying to do these things, and it's literally they're trying not to, they don't want to be the face of it. They don't want to be quoted saying something that they're not supposed to, this and the other. And they're just hoping that gamers will just sit there and be like, rah, 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 rah for the first week and then get over it after a while. And that's literally
I
that's what's
think so.
happening.
I think you're right. They think that it'll blow over,
Yeah.
and because they have a showcase coming up in a month, I think, or maybe less than a month. They
Hmm.
have a big Xbox showcase, which is rumored to. They'll have the new Call of Duty.
Yeah.
They'll have the new, rumored game Gears of War will be shown there. So it seems like almost seems like what you just said is true. They're just gonna stay quiet and hope that it all blows over, and they'll be like, "Ah, look at this, razzle dazzle," while they like do their thing,
Yeah.
go down this path where they shut down more studios.
Mm.
So I don't know, man. Like, a very interesting question you posed here. Is it incompetence or is it straight up evil? Let me throw this out to you guys.
Mhm.
Should Phil Spencer be fired?
Yeah.
Or should Phil Spencer step down? Because a lot of people are talking about that too. What's your guys' opinion?
Go ahead, Green Tanner. I have my thoughts on this.
I mean, I think a lot of this is beyond his control.
Mm,
So no matter who you put in there, I think a lot of the same stuff's gonna happen. I don't think it's
absolutely.
gonna change much.
Yeah. Let me just I agree with you. I think that Phil Spencer has no control anymore over Xbox. I think that this move is. I don't think Phil Spencer would have closed these studios if he had the choice. Obviously, it contradicts everything he's wanted to do.
It makes it a
So
little ridiculous. What you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, this is
Yeah.
definitely over his head. That's probably why we haven't seen or heard his statement from him, because he's not. Maybe he doesn't even just want to remark on it. But you're absolutely right. He's basically not. He doesn't have any power here. And I'm just thinking that Phil Spencer, he has a legacy, right? The man has a legacy.
Right.
I would say he does have a legacy. I'd say at this point, it's becoming tarnished. But if he were to step down, and say, I'm walking away from this because this is not the company that I want to lead anymore. This is becoming something I think he could still leave with his legacy intact, and the blame shifts over to Microsoft, which we all know is inevitable. You know, it's going to happen. It is already happening. It's just not there.
Sure.
So I'm looking at it from a perspective of Phil Spencer. What can he do to save face? It's step down, or if he's a brave captain, it's going to go down with the ship, but that spits in the face of everything he's done. Game Pass, the studios he's put together, even this like you could. I think it's safe to say now the Activision acquisition was a massive mistake that they shouldn't have made. I mean, you know what? It's not safe to say because there's a lot of money to be made. So I'm just I don't have the foresight there. But at the present state, I think that Xbox as we know it is probably over, like we've known it for the last 10 years. I think
Hmm.
that they're too it's too big a debt for Microsoft to ignore anymore. They have to take control of it.
Well, that's the first thing you always do. You always
But
start like firing from
you
from the
trim the
ground
fat,
up.
yeah,
Yeah, you start just
or
any business, whether it's video games, cars, what you name it.
yeah,
That's always goes down, unfortunately. And someone's losing money, they just guess
they
they just
trim
start firing.
they trim the fat, or they find new ways to make money. They're already starting to put out their games onto PlayStation, which is something they did this year. And so we'll see how else. It seems like all these decisions are beyond our boy Phil's. So I want him to save face and save his legacy, but I definitely think his his ability to change the direction of this company is gone. So, Creamcast, what do you think?
I think it's time for him to go. This
He,
this this he she. I'm gonna be real with you. Yes, is it beyond his? Is it beyond his scope? Right, and that I do agree. This is probably something that is beyond his scope. Something that is the decision was made without his input.
mm,
But at this point, if these decisions are being made without his consent, then why do we need him? You know, like he's supposed to
no,
be the CEO of Xbox, really Xbox Studios. He
yeah,
is supposed to be in charge of the whole Xbox operation. And with studios like this getting closed down, getting shut down, why? I mean, he is going to be just as responsible overall, though. While he may
mm,
not have decision, he is responsible overall for the health of the company. And right now, I mean, I think gamers all around are pretty much stating like this was not a good move. This was the trimming of the fat. But the thing is that the fat was a very so far a very vital part of Xbox Studios. Tango Works, I mean, literally one of their first games that they put out on the Xbox, or part of the Xbox ecosystem,
mm.
was a very very popular game. Right now, I
I don't know
was
if it was popular. It was critically acclaimed.
critically acclaimed, sure.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
It's
looking,
more what they wanted to make. Like it was.
Yeah, what makes them money? And it's the same thing. They just wanted the licenses, right?
sure,
They
So once you
wanted.
get the
Yeah,
licenses, why do you need the people in there? You're
yeah,
basically gonna
yeah,
trim it down
yeah.
to like one studio that's gonna basically develop all the games with the different licenses, and then just
Mm.
I, that's unfortunately how it's gonna happen. I think he's has to step down, right?
he kind of
That
has
would seem
to.
like the wisest move if you're
Well, I
Phil
mean,
Spencer.
why?
Just
Here's the
step
thing.
down, just get the fuck
He's
Fuck
out and
out
been
of
let the next
here,
guy.
right?
he's been in
Yeah.
charge of Xbox for 10 years,
Hmm.
and he although Game Pass is very impressive
Yes,
to execute, there's no way you can execute Game Pass without the bankroll of Microsoft behind it, and the
absolutely.
bankroll of Microsoft. I mean, they wrote him a blank check, which is insane to think of the leeway he was given.
Hmm.
But with all that power, he was not able to turn the tide.
Yes.
Okay, so that is gross incompetence, if you want to call it that. I don't know if that might be
Yeah.
extreme, but mismanagement for sure. That's just mismanagement, and underperformance. I mean, so you can. Here's the thing: step down. I think he should step down because he's being threatened, but with being fired. But I don't know. Like I think that's just gamer talk. I don't know where he could be valuable to Microsoft in ways that we don't know. I don't know. He's like, I think here's the thing: if you're Microsoft PR, you understand the value of Phil Spencer's likability, right? I
Sure.
mean, I don't know, it's kind of taking a beating right now,
Hmm.
but if you were to remove Uncle Phil, who do you put in his place to be the new mouthpiece for Microsoft that gamers, especially in this climate, will respond to? Like, I mean, at this point, it would have to be a faceless AI. That's the only thing that we will not be offended by. Because Sarah Bond, I think she burned every bridge last
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
She can't. It's that map, whatever booty, whatever his name is. He's just. every Xbox head at this point seems to be just fucking up left and right. So
Yeah.
either you scorch earth or you put everyone in the shadows and bring out your boy Phil Spencer. And I think that was the plan. He was supposed to headline the showcase. He was supposed to be out in front. Um, I don't know what you do if you're Xbox PR. So like, does he have to be fired? No, I don't think that's floating out there. I'm just saying, should he
I
step down?
I don't think they'll fire him too because he's probably like an important part of the Xbox as it is right now. And to like shake it that badly by removing like a key aspect of the company at this point would probably make things harder. So I don't think they'll fire him. But I'm saying if you wanted to save face, maybe stepping down would be an option.
It would damage the brand
Um,
for sure if
Well,
they fired him. But
yes.
the question, my only question is to
I
Phil.
mean,
Do
hold on,
you
and
want to
just
stay
not
around?
not to get twisted, I do agree with Creamcast. He is responsible for where he's at right now. There's no denying it either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
it's on him. It's not like
Absolutely.
he can really blame anyone else.
Well, let me before we get any further, right? I mean, this is just a poll taken by IGN, right? Of have you played Hi-Fi Rush? And 48% of the people said they played it and they loved it. Another 28.3% says no, but after the Tango Gamework closure, they really want to play it now.
Yeah.
And then there was 9% that said no, I don't think it was a great game, and 14% that said it wasn't interested. So even if you took both answers, both the yes, but I didn't think it was a great game, and no, not interested, you still having a overwhelming. It's only 23%. That's still less than the people who didn't play it and say they want to play it, and also the people who said yes and I loved it. So there's a great opportunity for this game. Very big, yeah, very big.
You lost me on the numbers a little bit, but
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Long story
Yeah.
short, there's 70+% of people who really want to play the game. They either they played it or they didn't play it, but they really want to. And only 20 something percent of people who said, "Hey, you know what? No, I played it and it wasn't that great, or no, I'm not interested." Still, there's only 20% of people. So 70 something percent of people really, really still want to play this game, or they really loved it. That is really good news for Xbox. Xbox has been a complete desert for single player games, right? Xbox has not been a great source for new innovative games. So the fact that there's new innovative games coming out, and one of your studios who has performed extremely well got closed recently, I think it's kind of telling of the current state of Xbox, that they just don't know what the fuck they're doing. And I honestly believe that Phil Spencer, while he is great at creating innovative services for Xbox, maybe like, hey, you have that one great game, or you have that one great system under your belt. Congratulations. Now we're gonna send you off to pasture. You're gonna go off in the great beyond, and hey, sir, it's been great. We love you, but you're out of here. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. It just seems like right now is constantly disappointment with Xbox, right? They bought all these game studios. They bought all these studios. They spent all this money, and yet we have nothing to show for it. And I understand, like, game development takes a long time, especially with the new games that are coming out now. You know, you got games that are like Elder Scrolls, right? We've been waiting for Elder Scrolls for I don't know how long. And the game has not come out yet, right?
Oh, it's coming.
I think
It's coming.
we're all
it's coming, right?
gonna move to the great beyond before the fucking next Elder Scroll
No,
happens at this point.
I guarantee you that bitch is on fast track for fiscal year 2025, and
Let's
they're
hope
got the
so.
whips going at
Well,
Bethesda.
yes.
Microsoft overlords kicked in the door last week and started like, hey, whipping them out. Like, I mean,
well, they need to because
69 billion, boys.
Yeah.
We need to recoup 69
billion.
bills.
Well,
Yeah,
that's the thing
so-
is they're at a point where they have to do that, right? They
Yeah,
they have to push it out fast. And I mean, let it be known, a lot of games are coming out right now that are not complete, right? We saw with, I mean, the most notable at this point is CD Projekt Red when it came out with Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk was
Yeah.
not completed whatsoever. Still needed about 6-7 months of development time to even be relatively playable. But they
They
pushed it
released
in.
it in beta. They released it
Yeah,
in
they
beta.
they they did. They really I mean, they did like a Steam early review or
Early
early
access.
release.
Yeah.
So that's literally what they did.
Mm.
And of course, it got better over time, but
Yep.
at the end of the day,
But it lost all its like momentum.
yeah, it
You know what I mean?
lost a lot of momentum. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not gonna lie, CD Projekt Red, Cyberpunk was one of the hottest games that was supposed to come out 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and then because of the hype and everything else, and then eventually because of the bad product that was put out, it fizzled. And of course, a lot of people bought it and they couldn't return it, but a lot of people did return it. But it still came out to be a relatively decent game after a while. And that's the thing. What I think Bethesda is going to have to do, they're going to have to put this game out and say, hey, whoa, there's some bugs with it, but hey, guys, there's a release coming, and we're going to put it out, anyways. That's just the nature of it, and I'm relatively fine with that, honestly. I was a little bit upset with CD Projekt Red, but it turned out to be all good. But right now, yeah, the fires are lit. Like Bethesda they're going to have to fast track this game for Xbox 110%. And will people buy it? Absolutely, people will still buy it.
It's still bad.
But will it be at the level that it would have been if we would have waited patiently until we right before our deathbed? They're like, oh, hey, by the way, we're putting on Elder Scrolls 6. It was like, oh shit, and then we hit the start button, and then we die. That's literally probably what's gonna happen. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with it. But yeah, I honestly I don't think that Phil Spencer should be here anymore. Phil Spencer does not seem like he is part of the gaming community. He doesn't seem like he is. I know he cares about the games, and that's the one thing I will give him credit for.
Yeah.
He is very charismatic about the games and how they're being produced and how they're being played. But it just seems like what he wishes for it to happen is not what's being executed. So get somebody in there who can quell our minds, right? Quell the masses to get them ready for the next coming of an Xbox. Because right now it's not looking good. That's all. That's all I
What's
really have to say.
crazy is they before they acquired Bethesda, they kind of like it felt like Phil Spencer kind of got like a plan going. They were gonna nurture their studios. They were gonna put out like remember that Fable trailer that came out and all this stuff. I know that was before or after Bethesda, but even Bethesda, when that Bethesda
Which
acquisition happened,
Fable trailer? Because there's like three, and they're vastly different, aren't they?
I thought
the
there's only
last
one.
one, the last one that I'm talking about, that was narrated
Is the
by
last one the one with the interview,
yeah, maybe I don't remember
I
that.
thought it was only
where they're
one.
interviewing some guy with glasses?
Yes, I think so, and it's like a
Okay, okay,
narration.
all
Yeah.
right.
But that was like 2 years ago, right? Like, or at least a year ago.
If
It's been a while, and I don't know if that game. I believe that game has issues in development because that team has never developed an RPG before. Remember there's a
uh,
perfect dark game that was supposed to be made, that was in development. There's a variety of stuff that's out there. There's all these studios that are working on shit, and it's if they just left them alone to do it, uh, they might produce something pretty good. But it just seems like now that Microsoft has swung the axe, how could you even work in that climate? Could you imagine? Like I was just thinking, like, could you imagine being like working at like I was just looking at their lineup. Double Fine, they haven't put out anything since Psychonauts 2.
Yeah,
Double Fine's like a they don't put out games that are like
they don't put a
bestsellers.
triple A, like
High
blockbuster games.
yeah, there's no high profit return for Telltale,
Yeah,
but
they're more like indie
indie
darlings.
darlings. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And but like why would you acquire them? Because that's the purpose of them, to put out these little cute little indie games, right?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's such a weird situation they've created. But that is the state of Xbox. I really hope that the Ed Underground was here to enlighten us, because he has the answers. He has the answers.
Yeah, he would be sitting here stroking it off, saying it was sacrifice, or
Yep.
saying it too, talking about, oh my goodness, seeing day one on Game Pass, like
Day
I'm
one
gonna
on Game
play it,
Pass.
and it's just like
Mhm.
okay, but people have been talking about this with like with Senua's Sacrifice or Senua's what's the Senua's something.
Senua's sacrifice? It's sacrifice.
Not is it Senua's Sacrifice?
It's Ed Underground. Can you tell us? I
Saga,
don't know.
Senua's Saga,
Senua's
Saga
Saga.
Hellblade 2. That's the
Obviously,
thing.
it's Senua's Saga.
Obviously, yeah. Like who could have thought of that one? I mean,
Mhm.
so Senua's Saga, that's the crazy thing about this, right? This game is supposed to come out what, in a week? And literally people have not heard anything about this game whatsoever. Xbox has it seems like Xbox has stopped Senua's Saga from actually putting out trailers and so forth. Like, when you have a big game that's supposed to come out, you're supposed to hype it up. There's no hype on their behalf.
Are
And
they pulling Disney Marvel X-Men? Remember
what?
who was it? But that's well, at one point Marvel was like they stopped writing X-Men or doing something with the Fantastic Four.
Oh, yeah, no. It was
To
the in the comics.
yeah, it was to
Yeah,
basically
no,
force whatever it was.
they replaced the X-Men in the forefront with the Inhumans to push the Inhumans as their, because Marvel Studios didn't have access to the X-Men, so they
Oh,
forced the comic to push the X-Men to the background. Uh, yeah, they might be manipulating the what we get out of the Senua's Sacrifice game. We'll see. I mean, at this point, it's a good looking game. Put it out. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Just like,
I mean,
but it is crazy that they're not talking about it. It's
this is
insane.
literally one of their top. There's
Yeah,
one of their top performing games. One of their, especially when you look around, you look to the left and the right of Senua Saga, and you don't
yeah.
see nothing else coming out for Xbox. But then they're not actually putting anything out for it, and it's just like this is absolutely crazy. And like Ninja Theory, I think I was watching something there. Somebody was explaining this about the lack of ads and so forth. Like I know
Mm.
like their creative director ended up leaving recently, and somebody else ended up leaving.
The creator of the studio, that championed the first game, like, left early on.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So I'm saying like, something's going on in Xbox land and Xbox Studios. I mean, Ninja Theory, which is the creator of this game, is
Ninja
crazy.
Theory, they'll put out this game. It'll come out, and all the folks at Ninja Theory are going to be working on Call of Duty skins.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what's going to happen.
they're gonna make Call of Duty, and I mean, they're going to either leave the company or they're gonna get subsumed,
Yeah.
just like any of these other companies. It's just, I really hope. I'm really worried about the life of game studios within Xbox because it's crazy to me that people are just allowing. It's crazy to me that people are just allowing these things to happen, or these studios are just allowing it to happen. Like, and probably, I mean, granted, you got Big Daddy Xbox coming after you. You're owned by them at this point, so there's not much you can do. But I mean, literally, Xbox was or supposed to be fostering these studios, be helping them grow, taking letting them go to the next level, still keep their studio name and become a big studio just under the Xbox umbrella. Now Xbox is saying like, hey, well, hey, you see that great game that you guys put out? Well, we could do it too. Come over to the Xbox Studios, and then they get subsumed. Like, I believe that all this stuff is literally the death of video game creativity.
Well, we could say that there's the safe games out there. Call of Duty will be just fine. And as we know, we don't need to be told, the Killer Instinct sequel is probably being they're moving all resources to get the, what is it called, the netcode right.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of, like, they're probably rerouting all of Ninja Theory at this point just to get the Cinder's pixel geometry correct.
Yes.
It's a big deal. It's gonna be huge.
It's gonna be huge.
huge.
I'm not
That's
gonna
where
lie.
they're pulling all the money. Really.
Oh yeah,
I would actually be
next
happy.
KI.
660.
Mm,
Yeah, 60 of those billions were definitely dedicated to Killer Instinct
Killer Instinct. You know
Shadow
what?
development.
I'm not gonna lie. If Killer Instinct comes out, I would be happy at this point. I would be happy if Killer Instinct 2 came out and all the combo breakers and then Ed Underground be like, "He told you guys, he told you it was coming out." I bet you Ed would show up on the next podcast if they did.
Oh, oh yes, oh yes.
Oh,
And he'd be right to. He'd be right to.
shit-eating grin in history.
Oh, man.
Just
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't tell. You couldn't tell you guys shit at that point. If
The
Killer
first $1 billion budget game, Killer Instinct. 2.
oh my goodness, yeah, that would be.
they actually, what they're doing is they're actually hatching a velociraptor so they can mocap it so they can use it for the reptile in the game, whatever the hell that thing is.
Reptar.
Reptar. Yeah, Reptar.
Yeah, you know, and then as soon as they finish all the mocap, they're gonna kill it, just like they do every other
pretty
game.
Much. They have to.
They have to
and
kill it.
They killed a fresh human being just to get the bones for the skeleton man.
Oh
yeah. They went to the same Chinese research facility where the body exhibits people went to.
Oh yeah.
Same exact place. Yeah, so
absolutely. Xbox, they're cutting edge technology. They're they're on top of it all, so we have nothing to worry about. That's for sure.
Yep. All right.
They're actually also thawing out an old Nordic axe Viking that
I don't know if
to
these
also
are more
mocap them too.
called Killer Instinct characters. I'm just going to take your word for it.
Yeah.
I only know Fireman, Iceman, Dinosaur, and Skeleton Man.
Yeah, but no, there is a big Viking guy.
Viking man.
Yeah,
okay.
but for, I'm gonna be quite impressed if they can keep him so buff.
What a lineup!
Yeah,
what a lineup!
Yeah,
just for mocap, and they're all
Mortal
being
Kombat.
executed right after.
Yeah, absolutely, it's going to be amazing. And Underground,
they're actually also studying lycanthropy as well, just to round out like the character roster.
Oh, okay.
Really go into like further research. So I think it's money well spent.
Oh yes, it is money very well spent. This game is going to be amazing. They're going to. I can already see it winning.
Holding James Cameron to direct the game.
Yeah, right. Like James Cameron, we need you to go down to Titanic and just mocap two fighters fighting out there. The Iceman and the Fireman. Just have them out there. I mean, yeah. I mean,
it's the first.
They'll give him
shot in IMAX.
A budget of like $10 billion, and he still will go over budget.
Yeah, of course. That's true. He does still go over budget no matter what. Yeah. I mean, so we'll see what happens with this game. I mean, goodness gracious, this game is tough. But we'll see. Moving on. So we saw a trailer for Assassin's Creed Shadow. That's a game that's been hyped up for a very, very long time. Been talked about forever.
Decades.
For decades, honestly. People have always been asking for an Assassin's Creed that takes place in feudal Japan. Now it seems like it's actually happening with Assassin's Creed Shadow. Watch the trailer, 3-minute trailer. I'm not gonna lie, it looks impressive, but at this point in time, it's a CG trailer.
That gameplay.
Oh, that gameplay was amazing.
So sick.
Yeah.
So sick.
God damn, dude. That gameplay.
I mean, it was so beautiful. I mean, it almost was like it was done by CGI. It's like I couldn't tell.
Dude, I could have sworn it was a cinematic that I was watching for the whole 10 minutes or whatever that trailer was.
3 minutes, but
it felt like 10 minutes.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. The gameplay was exceptional.
Yeah. Yeah, guys. Obviously, we're bullshitting. This is a fucking full 3 minutes of CG trailer. I mean, come on. Like this is kind of irritating.
We're past this.
Yeah, I mean, dude, we're in PlayStation. This PlayStation 5 territory, right? I mean, are we in the PS4?
We're in the we're in 5 right now.
Yeah, 5. Yeah. So I was like, I mean, I'm like, what the actual fuck? Like, why are we sitting here still watching trailers, complete CGI trailers? For what reason? Like, at this point, I'm getting to a point, honestly, if there's no gameplay being shown or yeah, if there's no gameplay, there's no graphics being shown. Stop showing this shit, right? Like, show a
There's no
quick trailer.
point.
Yeah, like
Yeah, you make a
Like
good point. The graphical technology has reached a point where some some in-game graphics look on the PC and max settings look as sharp as a lot of like polished CG trailers that most generic games get, right?
yeah,
So instead of giving us that cinematic, give us an in-game. How impressive would that be? How much would Ubisoft get kudos, especially now when you think about it? Right now, as we speak, Ubisoft, I just saw it online. They just announced this trailer hours ago, but they're getting shit on because
as they should.
as yeah, but for what I was reason I was talking about is they're getting shit on for the same thing they did with the Star Wars game they released the trailer for, where they have the pricing tiers.
mhm.
That kind of pissed everyone off, where the base
Yeah.
game is $70 and the DLC is like $100, and then there's another one for like $130, and then there's the Ubisoft subscription,
Mhm.
which is like $17-18. So instead of like, okay, if you knew you were going to do that, if you knew you were going to put that announcement out for the game, the tiers today, if you knew that when you did that with Star Wars game a month ago, people lost their minds and they're pissed off at you, why wouldn't you put out a CG trailer or put out a gameplay trailer to win over people's like to win over their wallets a little bit?
Yeah, win their
You know,
trust. Like,
yeah, a little bit.
yeah,
Why would
something.
why'd you fuck them over with another CG trailer and then put out the pricing model for a CG trailer? Like 100, I think it's $120 for one
Oh,
version
there
of
was
the
a
game.
pricing model on the
Yeah,
trailer.
yeah.
I
Well,
didn't
no,
even
no,
make it that far.
not on the trailer, but with
Oh,
the announcement package that
Mhm.
Ubisoft put out with the trailer. They also put out how the game is being released and what tiers, digital bundles that you're gonna get, and all this stuff. So, why would like it just another stupid decision? Like I said, it's coming to a head. Like, is this a game I want to play? Yes, I do want to play it. Even though I'm burnt out on Assassin's Creed, and I don't know if I'll ever get that back. And I think the only thing that'll do it is a good gameplay trailer to get me back into that um kind of
yeah.
zone with Assassin's
How
Creed.
hard
Yeah,
was it to just show a character infiltrating a temple guarded by like
Yeah.
you know like samurai warriors? Just something that would get people enticed instead of whatever this is. Especially
Mhm.
because like I've seen fan trailers that are just as impressive.
Yeah,
yeah,
this is
Like there's
nothing. This is
nothing.
nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing to gain at
And
all by the trailer.
literally nothing to gain at all because this, like, even the story here, whatever story I could gather, is generic
Yeah.
as hell.
it's absolute
Yes.
trash.
Like, does this look any like this have any interest to anyone? Like the story? No,
No,
and I don't think
No.
anyone's going to tune in for the story for this game.
And
Let me
to be
play as
honest,
a ninja and let me kill other ninjas and samurais. That's all I want to do. But show
well, and
me
let's be
a way I
honest,
could do all that shit.
we've all played Assassin's Creed.
Yes.
Nobody remembers the story. The only reason we play it is because they're like, oh, now you can be a Viking. Now you can be like in the Crusades. Now, and then that's what piques your interest.
Yes, I think that they and I think they themselves as a studio figured out that after Assassin's Creed not Brotherhood, the one where Ezio's old, they kind of abandoned that big story that they were telling,
That
and
yeah,
original storyline,
was good. I loved it.
I
it
liked it.
was leading to something so cool.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was leading
And
to
then
it.
they're like,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
just threw
yeah,
it out. Like,
they fucked it up for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely, they did
they
that.
put a gun,
Like,
they put a gun, like, they put a
yeah,
gun on it to his back,
yeah,
and
Yeah,
they walked him
yeah,
out to the edge of the building.
yeah.
And they were
Remember
like,
these 10 years we've been together?
yeah,
Fuck that.
that, and just kicked him off the edge of the building. I
yeah,
mean, no, it's complete bullshit. And
yeah.
the fact that, like, the original storyline was so cool. They had with the whole Ezio, like with the organization using him, like acting like, hey, we're just gonna we just need to check your memories and so forth, and then it goes
Desmond.
through Desmond's memories.
Desmond.
Like, what the fuck's happened with Desmond? Like, no one knows what's going on with Desmond at
He's
this point.
KIA, as far as I know.
Yeah, I mean, he's literally. Did you say gay? He's gay.
KIA.
Okay, I was like, yeah, he's gay.
He could be gay. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not judging the man.
Wait, gay eye?
KIA?
Is that what you just said?
Yeah, he's KIA.
It's AI specifically made for gay things.
Yeah.
Just overall general.
Yeah, next we're gonna get Assassin's Creed like Lollipop edition, where it's just like you have to go through like instead of having like the sheath that comes out, it's just like a massive dildo. He just stabs people in the ass with it. I don't know. It's just ridiculous how
you have to infiltrate a bathhouse.
Yeah, right. You just forget. Like at one point, you forget the mission and you're just enjoying yourself. Like it's really bad.
Wait, this is a Saints Row game, then.
Yeah, right. It's getting weird, and what I hate about this is that Assassin's Creed has turned into this hogmosh of bullshit, and this concept was something that was teased literally a decade ago, and it has been teased. Everybody was hyped about it. Now it's coming out. It's kind of like it's a little too late, right?
Too little, too late.
It's cool and all. Very cool concept. And if you would have told me this concept 10 years ago, I would have been on it and instantly have bought this. But we are sitting at a point now that there's so many games that have came out. There's so many games that have piqued our interest that are ninja games or whatever of this type of sort. And Assassin's Creed, now just getting to it is kind of like almost like a little too late, right?
Absolutely, you nailed it. What is the Sony game that is basically, they already did this already, literally, you know what I'm talking about? It's just coming out on PC right now.
Just coming out on PC.
Yeah, shoot, this is gonna, let's see,
it's just coming out on PC. I gotta think about this one.
Hold on.
I know back in the day there was like Tenchi Muyo, not Tenchi Muyo.
It's just it's right up that
Tenchi Muyo.
It's Inuyasha.
Yeah, I was like, what? I was like, wait, it's not Tenchi Muyo. I think it's Tenchi. Not Bushido Blade.
No, and I didn't play it, and it man, of course, when I look up fucking PlayStation games, it gives me like fucking Crash Bandicoot shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking, this is gonna, Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, yeah, Ghost of Tsushima, yes.
Ghost of Tsushima, which is basically, this game came out like 3 years ago on PlayStation. It's coming out again on PC. I think this week is its PC release. But they PlayStation beat Ubisoft to this. That was something that they had in their, they could have done this 10 years ago. And you're right. People wanted this. I remember reading about this game, the idea for this game, in print in an EGM magazine decades ago. Yes. That's how long the idea for this game has been around. As soon as the first Assassin's Creed came out, they're like, oh, what else could we do? Yeah. The first guy was like, Feudal Japan.
I remember magazines.
Hey, man, they're great. Kids, look it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they you're absolutely right. The others, fucking, what's it? Sekiro. Everyone beat him.
Sekiro. And the
Sekiro,
thing is,
literally the stealth like in Sekiro. Can you top that? Why would you even try?
Yeah, Sekiro was amazing as a action adventure game, single player. I mean, as far as combo, you could do combos. I mean, you had exciting fights. It was, granted, it was created from software, which are not known for making games that are easy by any stretch of the imagination. But it was a game that you could easily get into. The difficulty was there. Everything that you needed, whether you were a novice or I was gonna say not a licensed adventurer, but you know what I'm saying, like a hardened adventurer. You had it there. So now you're coming out with this Assassin's Creed, and yeah, it's great. It's just, once again, it's just too little, too late. Now people are still gonna be excited. It's still gonna sell a lot of units for sure. And I'm not saying that Assassin's Creed cannot pull the numbers. It's just that, why are we having this conversation about this game now when this game was could have been easily have been put out 5, 6 years, 5, 6, 7 years ago when the hype was as at what's I don't say at most, but when the hype for Assassin's Creed was still very high. And now they're putting it out, now teasing it and putting out trailers, and it's just like, for what? Now I hope that Assassin's Creed has been going on for many, many years now. They've gone through many, many trials and X, Y, and Z. Sure. I will be very impressed if, come to find out, Assassin's Creed, they come back and they're like, ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha. This is all part of our grand story. The reason why these 4 titles didn't go anywhere is because of X, Y, and Z. Desmond was taking a nap and he was attacked by the robot or some shit like that. That would be great. But the reality is nothing going to be like that. Desmond is practically gone. He is dead out of the story. And then now we're going to have some. Well, no, in the story now, honestly, it's just better to just continue on with this flow of different storylines, different timelines, and we just play them and we just have a good time. That's really what it comes down to. We don't need to have a deep, intricate storyline at this point. We just need to play the games and have a good time. But once again, it's like, why did they come out with the story now when they could have came out with the story years ago? And even if it was years ago, it wasn't as great as Sekiro. It still would have been a great game as is for its time. And now we're just getting it. So I don't know. It's annoying to me. It's annoying to me. I hated it. I hated the trailer. I wanted to be super excited for it, and I looked at the trailer and I was just like, okay. And then went about my business. It wasn't anything visceral, like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing ever. It's a CG trailer. I mean, we see these trailers nonstop. We've seen dozens of these trailers throughout the years. This makes no big difference out of the two, honestly.
Yep.
So
yeah, man. So hopefully the game is better than the launch trailer. Hopefully they'll get a gameplay trailer out sooner.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why these studios cannot learn from their own. Like, read the room. Read the room. You know what I mean? Like Sony, literally, like with the Helldivers 2 thing, it does it again with this Ghost of Tsushima. They did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, read the freaking room. People are pissed over the same things. Why are you making the same mistakes within weeks of each other and not learning? I just I don't understand. Like, Nintendo's the only smart guy in the room because they basically are in a coma right now.
Yeah. Really. Like, everybody's waiting for, like, for the Switch 2.
Yeah, basically. And they literally made the most like 5-head alpha move, and they said, yeah, Switch 2 exists, and went back in their house.
Yeah.
And now everyone's like, they're fucking amazing.
Like, they're coming to burn the house down. And they literally said that. They're like, well, I guess are we done fighting? Are we done, pitchforking?
Everyone's put their things down and quietly are waiting on the grass in front of
It's like, oh, I guess we're just gonna have to sit here and wait. That's the thing, even with Sony, right? Sony has done similar things like this. But Sony has quelled the audience by doing the thing that people wanted. Like what you brought up with Helldivers, right? Helldivers 2 had a huge pretty much a huge incident that happened with them requiring that every PC owner that plays the Helldiver syncs up their account with their PlayStation account. And the Helldiver community pretty much revolted, said people were getting refunds on their games on Steam. People were, saying like, hey, we're going to quit. We're going to boycott and this and the other. And Sony said, sure. We are just going to we're just going to go back on it, and we're going to say, hey, we were going to do this, but you know what, never mind. And that's exactly what happened. And then the Helldivers community for the PC port, they don't have to switch, they don't have to sync up or make a PlayStation account on a game that hasn't required it for the past 6 months that they've been playing. And they learned from their mistake, and they said, okay, we're sorry, and continue on as normal. That's it. And people are still pissed, and people who refunded the game still have it refunded, of course, but overall the damage was minimal, as it could have been.
there must be something that we can't see in terms of there must be some metric that's not visible to us that basically says that Xbox and Microsoft and Sony and everyone can see that basically says, yeah, they're going to be pissed, but they're going to still spend money.
Yeah.
There's something that we can, because from my perspective and from a lot of people's perspective, you think this is suicide. This is brand suicide that Xbox is doing. All these things are incompetence. All these things are like why is Sony doing like all these things we talked about. There's got to be something that we're not seeing where this is like a acceptable measure of like incompetence that we can do that we'll still have loyalty in our brand. And I don't know if Microsoft is pushing it with the Xbox. Sony, like I said, they tried it with the Helldivers thing and they really quickly walked it back. So it
Yeah.
gives me hope. Gives me hope that somebody there has a brain
Mm.
and they're like, stop. Like some guy had to run up 10 floors and like he's all exhausted and it's like, wait, stop doing this. That guy exists
Yeah.
in Sony somewhere.
Yep.
Does not exist anywhere in Microsoft.
Obviously not. And
Yeah.
I kind of hope that with Sony, I root for them, right? When they make mistakes, they own up to it and they keep pushing, especially as they see that the PlayStation populace is against it, right? I'm hoping that somebody at Microsoft takes notes and says, wait a minute, if they don't like it, then we don't do it. Now, how do we go from point A to point B? And it might take some deep thinking.
He's the janitor right now.
Yeah, right.
And he's like talking in front of a mirror.
Yeah, right.
Right.
He's trying to get like how he's like, wait a minute, why is A and B? How do we stop this? And he's just sitting there like, and
Yeah.
the Microsoft Office is not getting cleaned, but
Yeah.
it's for good reason. He's obviously thinking about how this is going to happen. And I really
future leader.
Yeah, I really hope that Xbox gets to understand and know their audience better to realize that while people are dumb, people aren't inherently dumb, but the thing is that Xbox users, even if they're dumb, they know what they want, right? And that Xbox should respect what the things that they like. And
Whoa! Shots fired at Xbox users from Creamcast, not from me and Green Tuner. Unless Green Tuner wants to jump in, but I'm just saying.
I mean,
Shots fired.
when you have
Shots
Ed
fired.
Underground,
Nah, I'm good.
When you have Ed Underground as your Lord and Savior, I mean, you kind of have to generalize everybody.
Hey, don't blame the victims. Is all I'm saying. They're the victims.
Yes, they are the victims. My bad. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens,
see what
and
happens.
we'll be waiting patiently. But moving on to our next news.
One more week, and the next stupid fuck up will happen. So.
Yeah, of course. You got Senua Sacrifice coming out next week, and Xbox is gonna be like, okay, guys, we're gonna put Senua Sacrifice out, but by the way, we're going to require you to I don't know, link it to
half the game, and then the other half will be behind a paywall.
Yeah, something like, hey, yeah, we'll put it up there, but you guys gotta pay us for the rest of the half of the game.
Yeah.
We'll put the game in, but you gotta pay us for trees or some shit like that. Something weird.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll do that, but we'll see what happens. So another news, and I'm not too familiar with this.
This is a shotgun news section because we're gonna have to speed through some of these.
Yeah.
I think there's gonna be
we still gotta get to this stuff. Yeah.
We gotta get our meat and potatoes here.
Dune prequel.
The Dune Benny Gesserit prequel series for Max.
Yep.
Just put out trailer today. First impressions, really quick for you guys. How do you feel about them? You both had strong words before the podcast.
Green Tuner.
Strong words.
Yeah. Well, I'll say
you were firmly opinionated.
Well, I'll start it off. It seems like it was a cheap trailer. It seemed like somebody shot this. They're like, hey, like some friends, hey, you know what? Let's put on some costumes real quick and let's just shoot this out in the woods or shoot this out in the desert and let's call it Dune prequel. I mean, it seems kind of cheesy. It doesn't seem like it's high quality. I don't know who decided to do this just because Dune is getting bigger at the moment. Who thought they could shoot this with minimal costumes and minimal set pieces and be able to like, hey, let's throw some random scenes together and make a trailer. Let's make a scene of them talking with their backs turned. Let's look at this guy's face real quick. All right, there's a sex scene, and then boom, end credits, Doom prequel. What do you guys think? And they were like, fucking genius. That's really what it seemed like. It didn't seem like much of anything, so I was not impressed.
Yeah, it seemed very generic. I was expect. I mean, I don't even know what I was expecting. It just seemed extremely generic. It was like a modern age sci-fi channel, and you know
Yes.
what I mean. It's not. When I think of HBO Max shows, I think of a certain level of
Polish.
show or of production.
Yeah.
But maybe the trailer is really bad and the show is good. I don't
Well,
know.
the show, Denny Villeneuve is involved in the show, and the like production, like the stuff from the movie is being used in the show. That's why it was shot so close to the movie. So there is a connection there, but I mean, beyond the trailer, I can't say. Maybe it'll be here if realistically, we can't go on expecting the budget of the movie. I don't think they will do
Of course
that.
not. No.
I think everything will be shot in small rooms, small locations. Big ideas shot in small spaces to like give you the effect of something bigger.
Dude.
Yeah. So I don't think they're going to Arrakis or anything. I think they're going to a planet that'll look like Los Angeles. I'm pretty sure. Fucking
show up on America. It's just like, give me number 2 versus like number 2. Like, what else you want? Fries. This is like, okay, like whatever.
Yeah, maybe the story will be good because the story comes from a cool place. I'm excited for. I'm still excited for this. Very excited for this. But yeah, the trailer did not blow me out of the water. I'll just say I saw a Lord of the Rings TV show trailer earlier in the week that had better like atmosphere and weight in it from the cinematic perspective than this did. So
yeah, this is
little bit concerned, but
yeah.
The content is better than many things. So
Sure.
that's what has me going. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so we got next one, Spider-Man Noir. That was just a recap. Or not a recap, but this is a announcement. Nicolas Cage will be heading the series. It's supposed to be live action, which
live action Spider-Man Noir on Amazon.
That's
Huge.
kind of scary.
It is. You're right. It is scary and exciting.
Yeah, it's scary and exciting. Like, I mean, we know that if you know anything about Spider-Man Noir, you know that he is black and white. So this show would probably be in black and white. Kind of curious of how that's going to turn out. I do like Nicolas Cage, since Nicolas Cage will probably be Spider-Man. He'll probably be very lighthearted and witty, which I think that might be a good. I don't know. I think that might be a good way for him to expand his
I think it'll be
his
exactly
acting chops.
I think he's gonna do the exact same character he did in the first Spider-Verse movie, where he's like, was he like literal with everything he was saying? I forgot what his shtick was. Like he was, or he was the.
I don't know. Was he that? Was that him?
He was the broody, dark. Like everything he said was broody. And no, that's Scarlet Spider in the new movie.
But he was everything he said was literal, and everybody was like, yeah, blah,
that's
blah, blah.
His thing. That was his comedic thing, right?
Yeah,
like he was just literal with everything he was saying.
Yeah, he was very literal with everything he was saying.
So I mean, that's Nick Cage doing it. So I assume this will be a live action version of that.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so too. I mean, like I said, this was just an announcement. That was an announcement on this. It wasn't anything solid, so we'll just take it as is.
I hope they don't take it seriously. I hope it's like 30-minute episodes and it's like leans into the levity of it a little bit and has fun with it. So, but I thought it was a wild announcement to make, though.
Yeah. Really quick, we have some comments in the chat, mostly from Ed Underground.
Yeah, ignore the Ed Underground ones.
Okay. We're gonna ignore them. All right. Sorry, Ed. You need to be here to be able to participate.
Yeah, be here. I challenged him last week and called him bitch, and bitch ain't here. So
yeah, I mean, he took it with a grain of salt. So I mean, that's his new name now. but yeah, we said House of Dragon season 2. Yeah, there was a trailer for that as well. I didn't
Was
watch
there?
that. Yeah, there's a House of
Oh
Dragon
shit! I'm
trailer.
excited for that. I'm down.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. I mean, now it is going to be the Dance of Dragons portion
Mm,
of it, which is pretty cool overall.
yep.
If you've known anything from like the books, you know there's a lot of crazy stuff that does happen. So
Mm.
I am looking forward to it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's really not much to say about it. I don't know about you guys. Have you? Are you guys? Do you guys even watch House of the Dragon?
Yep. I
No.
watched the first season. I thought it was really good. Or I thought it was. I was unexpectedly surprised with how much I liked it
Yeah,
and how compelling the characters were. The time jumps were real cool.
yeah.
And I'm looking forward to the second season. Actually, I have the book on tape for the House of the Dragon, the full history of the Targaryen family,
Hmm.
and I literally got to like they're just like they talk about decades and decades and ancestors and people, and literally they start from the beginning, and they got to the point of the first season of the show.
Hmm.
I just stopped listening because I don't want any spoilers, but it's literally probably a chapter in that book, and then it moves on from Dance of the Dragons. But yeah, I'm pretty excited
Yeah,
for it.
I am kind of curious. I've only read one part in particular that I know how it happens from Dance of the Dragon, and I don't want to spoil it for myself. Well, I didn't say I hope they don't show it this season. But I don't want a Game of Thrones where they go 8 seasons and then it turns to shit. I think House of Dragon, if it doesn't end within the next season or two,
Mm-hmm.
I will be probably a little disappointed on how it turns out. But we shall see.
Only Toes here, damn Only Toes. He just brought in a comment here that we must talk about. We didn't talk about it.
Mhm,
They did announce a new live action Lord of the Rings movie
mhm,
with Peter Jackson,
mhm.
and it's the Golem movie
Yes.
with Andy Serkis coming back. I think it's called The Hunt for Golem, or is it something? It's
Oh
like
Lord.
yeah. So it's the original Lord of the Rings crew, production crew, and everyone back, and Andy Serkis back. So like I said, we'll see, but it is happening. It is uh, like I said, it comes from the same people that made some of the best movies. Only Toe says it better be good, quote
Yeah.
unquote. The
I mean,
legendary
Hmm.
Ed quote.
yeah, it better be good.
Um, it better be good. We'll see.
It better
Uh,
be good.
Yeah,
yeah, I think Green Tuner will be the most excited for that one when it comes out.
probably.
It's his cup of tea.
Yeah. I'm bursting with excitement.
Yep.
Yeah, you see, he's excited. All right, so let's all
Yeah.
right, so let's go ahead and move on from our side topics. Let's jump into our main topics right now.
Mm, mm,
The
mm,
main topics that we're going to review are going to be Planet of the Apes, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and
mm.
also the last I think probably the
Finale.
last 2 episodes of
No, I think
X-Men.
is it all three?
It might be
All
all
three?
three. I
I don't
don't
know. We'll have
wait.
to talk about all three to
We'll talk
talk
about it.
address the whole story. But yeah,
Right.
the X Men finale.
Yeah, so X-Men finale. So
Mm.
all right, let's go ahead and jump into Planet of the Apes. Who all watched it? The all three of us watched it?
I watched it.
Yeah, I watched them.
Okay, cool. Um I mean, let's kick it off. Like Planet of the Apes, I'm not gonna lie, I was not excited about this. It wasn't something that I was dying to see. It wasn't something that I was like, oh my god, I have to see this movie.
Mm.
I was literally I'll say forced. I was conned into watching it. And conned just saying like, hey,
By who?
but my brother-in-law. So
Oh.
it wasn't it wasn't anybody who truly conned me into it. But I was asked to see it and I said sure.
Mm.
Yeah, I was not excited about seeing it, and I wasn't excited when I actually watched it.
Mm.
I watched the entire movie. I fell asleep on some parts, woke back up, and realized I had not missed a damn thing.
Mm.
Yeah, the movie was 2.5 hours long.
Yep.
Was not expecting, maybe it's like 2 hours and 10 minutes, but it was a 2 hour plus movie, and I was not expecting that whatsoever.
Mm.
The
Mm.
movie for
Mm.
me
Mm.
felt very long. It felt very drab overall in action, and overall, it just wasn't a great movie for me. Now this might be due to the fact that the air conditioning on the movie that I was watching was absolutely blasting and as cold as it can be in a movie theater.
Mm,
So me wearing, I had a jacket on and some shorts because it was raining,
mm-hmm.
did not help at all. But I was very, very happy the fact that I was wearing something that was going to keep me warm.
Yeah, I've been
Outside,
there.
yeah, outside of that, yeah, the movie just wasn't hitting like it was supposed to. The theater was packed, which is crazy. Tuesdays for us at my theater is when the theaters are cheap.
Mm,
$5 for a movie,
mm.
and the movie theater was completely packed. But yeah, it wasn't that exciting of a movie. I thought that the main character, I will say there were some scenes at the end that made it a little worthwhile to see.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the movie it just wasn't action packed. It wasn't exciting like I thought it was gonna be.
Now, are
I
you a fan of the recent Caesar trilogy from the last three films that came out?
no, I'm not a huge fan.
No. Okay. Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm a huge fan of those. Like, huge fan of those. This was one of the movies that was on my most anticipated films of the year. And I will say that in comparison to those original three, not original three, the three remakes,
Mhm.
or the reboot, those are superior films.
Absolutely.
Just because the characters are just better, and I think the stakes are a little bit better. This movie was good. I thought it was good. I don't think it was great by any means, but it was familiar in terms of I like what they're setting up. They're setting up like the main character Noah to be a big deal, some kind of confrontation with the humans. But yeah, I kind of like echo some of your feelings, Grimcast. Like I said, I was happy with a lot of stuff, and then the other stuff where like this movie didn't do anything too different from what I've seen. So it wasn't really, yeah, it was light on the action, but it was heavy on the like the sci-fi elements, which I like. The OG sci-fi elements of Planet of the Apes, I think were intact. It just was a little light on a few ideas and just kind of like I don't want to say played it safe, but they kind of played it safe on a few reveals. I
Sure.
think, yeah, if you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
without spoiling anything for the movie, I felt a little bit like, oh, I knew that was going to happen. And in Planet of the Apes movie, I go in with not the expectation of a twist, but like I really want them to execute the twist because the original 60s movie is known for one of the best twists in movie history, right? So you kind of want that twist. I don't know how much more you can present a twist. I thought there was one with the one of the characters, the human characters in the like halfway through the movie.
I mean, spoiler at
Um,
this point. I mean, if you want to say it, you
yeah,
just
it's not even worth spoiling at this point. I'm just gonna say it's not that critical for me to talk about. Um, I will say on the positive, I liked the effects were solid. I think I really think I just like these ape effects. I really, really love them every time I see them. Um, and I like the bad guy. I think it was underutilized though, but I love that crown on his head.
mm,
He was Proximus, I think is his name, or Proximo.
yeah, something
Um,
like that.
Something like that. Yeah, he looked adorable with that crown on. Tuner.
I mean, I'm gonna echo Creamcast. This shit was boring.
Mm,
I mean, I don't know, man. It was boring. It was predictable. I'm not a fan of this whole Caesar trilogy.
mm.
I didn't even enjoy the Bugs Life ending, where all the little ants stand up to the grasshopper.
Yeah.
Fucking Caesar bringing all the little apes, to like turn
Oh
on the
right, yeah,
big
yeah,
bad guy.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. For some reason, I just don't like these movies. They're not my
That's fine.
jam.
That's fine.
Like I can tell that there's a lot of care that goes into them. It's just
Mm.
it's not my jam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it made a lot of money. So I think the franchise is probably in a good place because I think, yeah, my theater was also I wouldn't say it was packed, but there were a good amount of people on there for. I think it went on a
People like
Monday
these
morning.
movies.
Yeah, I think they did
Yeah.
well. So I think they're generally well received. I think the critical reception was positive too. So, but yeah, I think they could do so much better. And I think that story, um, when you care about the characters a little bit more, I think this is just that first movie where you're establishing some of the relationships. Um, I think it'll be. Hopefully it'll get better. But no, it didn't really knock it out of the park for me either. So
Yeah, I think this. I think what it needed to. I think what this series needed to, or this movie needed to have was, it needed to have increased stakes, right? It
Mhm.
this needed a movie to, and Onito's said there's supposed to be 8 movies.
only Toes is out of his mind if that's like 8 movies.
Hell
That's
yeah,
amazing.
it's the what's it called, the it's the Rebel Moon, baby.
Yeah,
Oh
Rebel
yeah,
Moon.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're going.
Fucking
We got
Rebel
4 more.
Monkey.
Yeah, we
Zack
got
Snyder
4
at it
more.
again.
Got 4 more to go, baby. I mean, this movie was ultimately, in my mind, just very boring. I think they need to up the stakes and make it so make it so that um human civilization truly has to fight for something, right? And let this be thousands and thousands of years in the future. And humans are putting on clothes, or the monkeys are putting on clothes, and this, that, and the other. Like, I really wish there was something that was a little bit more at stake than just them really. I mean, it seems like the whole purpose of the movie was to show that, oh, there's some monkeys that are have the ability to open up a vault to see the human weapons inside and then just get flooded. That's really what it came down to. They killed the peaceful tribe of monkeys, killed them. He went on a vengeance quest. Found all his family and friends. uh and on the shore they go into, which is, they're trying to get into a facility. They can't get in the facility, so they go up and above into the facility, open it up, and then they flood it. And then the last scene is, instead of him fighting the main bad guy, he just calls his birds, and the birds just come, caw-caw, they just come in, and they just start attacking him, and then they die, and then boom, that's it. That's literally the gist of the movie. There's nothing really
Yeah.
more than that. So I mean,
They basically combined the ending of The Lion King with Bug's Life, and like that's basically how the movie ended.
getting these melted together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
replace hyenas with the fucking eagles, and the little ant people with the fucking apes, and that's what you got.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally. I really wish I would have been in that board meeting, and they were like, and the guy was like, whoa, 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 wait, guys, I have a big movie idea. How about we just have some monkeys, and they
Mm-hmm.
get stolen, and then
Mm-hmm.
the guy goes and finds them, and then he eventually helps them escape. Everybody lives except for the entire bad guy's army. They all get killed. But then, in the last battle, he gets his ass whooped. But then he gets up and goes, oh, oh. And the bad guy's like, instead of just kicking him off and killing him, he's just like, what? Why you make noise?
Yes, let me give you time to really get this thing going instead of just nipping it in the bud and kicking you off this ledge.
Yeah, and then like all of a sudden, all the eagles or hawks, whatever, who didn't like the guy before, all of a sudden are now coming to him, and they scratch up the bad guy, and then he dies. And it's just like, and I could see that guy talking about, all right, guys, that's it. They're like, oh wow, that must be like the first act. He's like, no, that's the entire movie. They're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I think you just said it right. I think that is the first act. I think there is a big story they're trying to tell. I mean, I don't know if what Only Toast is accurate 8 movies here, but this definitely feels like chapter 1 of something that doesn't
Only
really.
Toast has never steered us wrong.
Never.
No, he has never. He's the spy inside the studio, so
Absolutely.
we have to believe him. But yeah, no, I hear what you guys are saying. It definitely felt like they want to tell a story, and they probably like held back and like, well, how do we just wrap up this part? We don't want to give away this and this and this.
Yeah.
So
I wish I was part of that pitch meeting too. I'd be like, now, is there a way we can give one of the apes a power glove?
Yeah, right. Yeah, get his hand chopped off.
Yeah, promote that man.
Yeah, I want one of the apes get his hands chopped off. Then he gets a power glove instead, and then as part of the movie, they just go, And he
Yeah.
just crumbles his fist up,
Mhm.
and then boom,
Mhm.
and it's like Planet of the Apes.
Then another person steps up. They're like, "How about also giving him a cybernetic eye?" It's like, God damn it, this is a great meeting.
Yeah, God damn, there's so many great ideas coming at one time. We can't put them all in the same. Like, yeah, they need to do something. Like, Planet of the Apes was absolutely boring. And like the funny thing is like if you love Planet of the Apes, this movie is going to be for you, right? If you really
Yep.
care about the
Yep.
current the live
sure.
action Planet of the Apes,
If
you're
you're
going to think it's
invested
oh my
in this
God.
story
Yeah.
so far, I'm sure this is good.
Yeah, this is
I'm assuming.
but this is like cannon fire for this. Like if you've been listening to all the stories up until this point, you're literally invested. So you're gonna go and watch this movie all the same. And that's the thing. They expect you to do it because you are already a fan. They're gonna be like, okay, guys, we can literally put shit in here and you guys will watch it. So this is what they do. They literally are telling you, hey, this is gonna be a shit movie, but you are a huge fan, so we're gonna give it to you and you're going to enjoy it. And that's what happens. That's fine. And I think for like diehard Planet of the Apes fans, this is a perfect movie for you because you get to see apes, you get to see apes interacting with humans, humans interacting with apes, blah blah blah. You see all that stuff. But for the average moviegoer who is watching this doesn't bode well for Planet of the Apes, right? This seems
I think you're absolutely wrong. I think it got a
Bam,
lot of
shots fired.
it got a lot of I mean the critical and audience favorability is there for it. The people
sure.
liked it. I got a lot of positive word of mouth from like when you have coworkers talking about it and they haven't talked about stuff for a long time.
Mhm.
This was the first one I had like coworkers talking about the new movie and go see. So that's when I usually that's my personal
Sure.
gauge of like what's popular.
Yeah.
I agree with you on it wasn't exciting. I agree with you on it didn't hit the highs. I still liked it. But I think the general mass audiences, from what I'm hearing and seeing, they seem to enjoy it. I think it scratches that itch for like a summer like blockbuster movie, but it doesn't. It's not too into every franchise. It's a franchise that's notable, but it's not like the one that keeps repeating over and over again.
Yes.
So I think it's fine. It's not again. I can't really defend it too much.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
I did like it, and I will give it like probably like a 7.5 because I think it's good enough.
well, I'm glad that you went through this whole like diatribe just
Mhm.
now, and then you're saying, well, I'll probably give it a 7.5. Like, damn, you like how you're talking about it. It sounds like it should be a 10
Well, I
out
mean,
of
it's
10
a
for
seven
you.
and a half. No,
Yeah, I mean,
I said pretty clearly it's not as good as the 10 out of 10 versions of this franchise. If I didn't
yeah,
make that clear, I mean that's what I'm saying. It's not at that level, but it's okay. It's not the best that they've put out,
sure.
but it's nowhere where you're describing. Absolutely nowhere.
I totally
I think
disagree with
that
you.
the audiences and critics and I think everything is opposite of what you're
Well,
describing.
I mean, and you can say that, and I totally disagree with you, but
Mm.
you're entitled to your wrong opinion.
How about fuck you?
Yeah,
How about
yeah.
that?
I mean, sure. I mean, we
Damn.
can just tell each other fuck off.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that this movie wasn't great for
Yeah,
what
no, it
it
was
is.
boring. You guys didn't like it. I mean, I could see it. I could see that as a thing that would be boring if you're not like invested. You said it right, invested in the kind of story. So,
Yeah. I mean, for the
yeah.
first week, it did extremely well.
Mhm.
I think it made like 140 million the first week that it
Did it
came
just
out.
come out on Friday?
Yeah, it just came out this week.
Yeah.
So, that's not bad. It's not bad at all for this movie. It had a budget of 160 million dollars.
Yeah.
So overall, let me see how much
I
money
think
did
it's
it
going to
make.
make over its
140.
budget
Yeah,
pretty
yeah, 100
easily.
makes you 141
Yep.
million. So with
It's again, it's another one of those movies we talked about that like they do well keeping the budget low, not having this overblown massive Disney budget where they're struggling to like Ant-Man,
mhm,
like with like $300 million and they're trying to figure out how to recoup that. It must make $1 billion for them to break even.
right.
So I mean I'll take it.
No, I mean it's great that we're still making great movies like this. I mean, movie wise, this movie looked phenomenal, right? This was by excluding dialogue and anything of the sort, this was a great looking movie, right? I did enjoy seeing the apes as they were. I enjoyed the set pieces and everything else. They were great. It's just the dialogue just didn't keep up with the dialogue just didn't keep up with keeping my interest. What?
The dialogue, like the ook.
Oh, ook, yeah.
Okay.
Like it just doesn't. It didn't keep up with me. So I mean, it is what it is. I mean, only tells he agrees with you, Dark Side, that
Okay.
you know,
my boy.
yeah. So I mean, that's cool.
Like I said, I will totally tell you I felt this movie should not have been 2.5 hours. I'll just say that.
Yeah,
it definitely. Yeah. If I had access to the editing, I would probably have cut out at least 30 to 40 minutes out of this movie. I think it could have been.
Yes.
I mean, they're trying to tell a very simple hero's journey tale for this young ape boy to become a young ape man leader.
Yes.
It's a very simple story. It's not anything new. They're like I said, this is chapter 1 of something. It's so obvious.
Yes.
So we just get to it. You know what I mean? So absolutely, I agree in that sense. Like I said, I put it out there. 7.5 for me. You guys go ahead and we can.
For me, I would give it a solid 5. Not horrible, not great.
Yeah, same 5.
Yeah.
I mean, if I liked the movie, if I was more invested, I'm pretty sure it'd be higher.
Yeah, I would say the same. It's just it. I mean, I have to, and to be fair, probably the reason why I hated it so much, or not even hated it, I just liked it so much.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. It's just I just found it boring.
Yeah, it's like the reason why.
Now, will this change your opinion when this movie gets released in Blu-ray or 4K?
Yes.
There's a version of this. There will be a cut of this on the disc that will have the human mocapless, like the human people in mocap.
Yes.
Like without the CG.
Yeah.
They're releasing a cut on the disc that's just them, the humans.
Absolutely.
In the mocap outfits.
Yes. I would love it. I would love it.
I think that would be fun to watch.
I mean, I honestly am looking forward to that. I want to see humans dressed as whatever the mocap suits were. Yeah. And
acting like apes.
Acting like apes. I'm like, man, this is gonna be exciting.
Peak cinema right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, that I will be looking forward to.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, I think 5, and 7.5. I mean, probably looking at closer to 6.5, which is not too bad. Overall, like I said, the movie physically was, looks wise, was definitely visually stunning. Just couldn't keep my attention. And I'm not gonna lie, like I said, I was really tired yesterday. Honestly, I kept falling asleep. I actually went to bed early last night. Usually I don't go to bed until like 1 o'clock in the morning to get up for work at 9. Last night I didn't go to bed until I went to bed I think at 11, and that was me dying to try to stay awake for that time. So in either case, I was extremely tired. So maybe just maybe it was just a bad time for me to watch a movie, because like I said, I kept falling asleep in it. But I look forward to recapping this, watching the Blu-ray when it comes out. So okay, so do you guys have anything else you want to add to it?
No, we want to get to the entree here.
All right, let's get to the main one. All right, the main story for tonight is X-Men 97, the finale that occurred just a few hours ago. I'm not gonna lie, I had to watch the last 2 because I had missed last week's episode. But man, when you're talking about roller coaster,
fake fan for sure.
Yeah, fake fan, but I made it up though.
Ed's not here. I got to channel his Edisms for you guys.
Please do. Yeah. It makes me feel like, what, Ed? Is that you, Ed? I mean, no. Oh, Ed. Wow.
Ed, 2 Eds? What the fuck?
I am surprised. Color me shocked.
Forfeit game. Well, fucking what? I don't know.
Oh my goodness, you guys are just turning to Ed.
Oh yeah.
No, I really enjoyed this. This past 2, I had to watch past 2 episodes. I literally finished it up right before the podcast, and I thought it was amazing. Um,
Now, did we talk about part one? I can't remember.
I believe we did.
Part
Yes.
one
did.
of this?
Part one of this. Yeah, we
Yeah.
did. We
Yeah, we
did. We
did.
did. Because it ends with like Cable showing up and Bastion being revealed,
hmm
right? So that's the first part of the
Oh,
three-parter.
yeah. Dark Side.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to educate me on this.
Yeah.
What is Bastion?
He is like I mean, in this, he's like a sentinel from the future kind of thing. But in this story, I think in the second episode of this three-parter, they kind of show you his origin. Like in the original animated series, there's a point where Nimrod, who's a sentinel from the future, goes back in time to kill Charles Xavier, and they kill him. I think I don't remember exactly, but part of him stays in like the past, gets into some guy's body, and that guy has sweet relations with a human woman, and they
Yes.
produce a baby, a mutant baby, who is half future sentinel and half mutant that has the ability to control machines, right?
Yes.
And
Mhm.
so he grows up with this mentality of this like a future Terminator, right? So he's got the programming and determination to complete his like objective, which is to destroy mutants. And he has the power to like control machines. I think I don't exactly remember his true mutant power, but it has to do with those things. But yeah, that's Bastion, and then he's been working behind the scenes to create this program called Operation Zero Tolerance, which would wipe out all the mutants. It's an evolution of the Sentinel program.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like an organic sentinel, basically.
Yeah, the Prime Sentinels are organic Sentinels. They're human beings who can be converted into Sentinels, and they're like sleeper agents. So they're just there everywhere at all times, and you don't know you're a Prime Sentinel and you're a Prime Sentinel.
Yes.
Oh,
So
they themselves don't know they're a prime sentinel.
yeah,
They
that's
did not know. Yes.
so that's the whole
Oh, that's fucked
yeah.
up.
That's fucked up, and
Because I'm
that's
like,
what
how did all these people get whatever? I was like, oh shit, okay.
yeah, they don't know, and that's what like at the end of the third part, they switch over to the thing that happens at the end of like almost every type of this like movie or show that does this, where like um it turns on their creators. So like they turned on humans at the
Mhm.
end, but in the comic, like that's one of the things like people don't want, like the idea that you could be a Prime Sentinel under against your will
Yeah.
is a big deal for like that's the reason why this is like shady government operation that goes wrong. But yeah, no, I think Bastion was cool, really cool villain. um yeah, overall I thought like what we say, like we haven't talked about the last two episodes. Fucking amazing, cool stuff. The second episode cliffhanger where Wolverine gets his adamantium pulled out. So fucking cool. We don't get to see him in his feral state, but I guess we will.
Oh
When the show
no.
gets back. Yeah,
No. Is the nose going away?
oh, the nose is gone, my friend.
No, it's the
Well,
worst. I
yeah,
hate that Wolverine.
I know, I did
I
too.
hate feral Wolverine.
Yeah, but that's why he's feral. Like he reverts without
Oh,
the adamantium to his healing factor to
to
constantly.
poison his blood.
Yeah, to poison his blood. The healing factor is always keeping him alive. Without that poison in him, he goes full mutant, which means he becomes this more feral version of himself. And he's gonna have bone claws, which are useless,
Yeah.
but they'll be there.
But they can regrow.
They
And
can
it's a
regrow.
special unlockable in Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Yeah, yeah. And he looks
Mhm.
sick
Yes.
in that bandana. For
Remember
sure.
that? God, we were so stupid. Like, oh, special unlockable. And then when you unlock the character, all they did was they changed the color palette on his claws from
Claws.
white to like the tan color.
And
Yes.
yeah, it
It's
was
like,
10.
oh
It
yeah,
was
now they're
bone
bones.
claws. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I liked it. I thought it was fucking great season, great finale. Really ramped it up. I love the Cable stuff. Man, Magneto, so great. What a cool character. I'm glad. I guess we're spoilers, heavy spoilers for the series. If you haven't watched it, really watch it because the end where they take it, the tease for the next season is so good too.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Yeah.
I mean, when I watched it, I
Mm.
absolutely loved it, right?
Mm.
From every like once again, talking about Wolverine getting the adamantium literally pulled out from his body. Now, of
Mhm.
course, they didn't go full gory detail and pulling it out, but
Yeah.
No,
Why?
no.
Why was the adamantium liquefied? Why couldn't it just come out in chunks? It
Because
literally
I
looks
think
like he just busted the biggest load in the world when he died. Because you see all this
yeah,
fucking
yeah, that's in the
so
like
comic.
yeah,
You're
gooey
absolutely
white
right.
liquid come
In
on.
the
Yeah.
in the comics that happens too, and I don't know if that's the state nature of what Magneto's power does to adamantium. I don't know. I don't think I've ever asked that question, but you're right.
yeah,
It comes out like it's like he's in zero gravity and it's like
just
Yeah.
liquids
a
out.
liquid. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
hot liquid.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
it's a little weird. I know in other comics with his adamantium being pulled out, I mean, it's gruesome how it gets pulled out
Yeah,
from
I
him.
remember one being extremely gruesome when you actually see it tear through the flesh and like
Mm-hmm.
the chunks of metal, which would make the most sense. That's how he would rip it off.
Yeah,
He wouldn't like liquefy it
I
nicely and
think
take it
I
off. He
think
would
he
just
would
like
come out in like a
pull it.
mist, like of like fine
Yes.
metals, like but
Remember like in the movie where
yes,
he took the metal
X2.
out of that guy? That would
yeah,
have been so insane. Like he literally pulled every molecule out of like Logan's like pores.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Well,
I
I
felt
think
like
they
good.
I think I was just gonna say real quick that the Disney Plus factor probably
Sure.
yeah, they had to like I'm sure they had to like
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
how do we make it less gruesome?
that's what I was kind of thinking. Disney Plus is not known for allowing too much bloodshed um on their platform. So the fact that we got that, I think that was probably gruesome enough as is. So I was like, okay, I got to be happy with what I can get. So yeah, no, I was quite surprised with the Sentinel Primes. Like, well, the first thing like we saw in the first episode with all these Sentinel Primes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, these Sentinel Primes don't know who they are. They don't know that they are the ones getting transformed into Sentinel Primes. They really have no idea of anything. So the fact that, like all these Sentinel Primes are popping up in the populace is insane in of itself, right?
Yeah.
We had, at first couple people changing. Now it seems like everybody's changing, and then everybody's like, "Well, hey, I'm not Sentinel." Then boom, they just. I was like, I
Mm-hmm.
gotta destroy all mutants. And it's just like it's crazy how that happened. I think it's really cool that the way that they went about Bastion is pretty awesome. Like, 'cause they didn't show Bastion as purely a like a copy of Nimrod, right? They didn't show him being like, oh, like yeah, I'm just Nimrod and blah blah blah. It's just it really showed him like he has his own ideas, he has his own or Bastion has his own ideas, he had his own way of doing things. I thought that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I did like Bastion's look when he
Yeah.
went as through these different stages.
Yeah,
And
very Dragon Ball Z evolutions, various stages that he went to his final form, of course.
yeah, it's just like you went from base Bastion to slightly formed to like Goku level, Super
Yeah.
Saiyan 1, then Super
Mm-hmm.
Saiyan 2, then 3 and 4, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty crazy how he changed. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Um the one thing I didn't understand is like what happened to Bastion after what he got caught up in an explosion that teleported the rest of the X-Men into their different time zones.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to Bastion at this time?
I think if I were to guess, I think we'll see him in the next season in some capacity because you're again playing with time travel. Again, it could also be the seeds of like Bastion was here. Like I mean, I don't remember. I really don't remember the comic book how it resolves. But I'm just thinking if I were to write like, where's Bastion? They specifically showed Jean and Cyclops in the far future. where Cable is still a child. If Nimrod is to take form, wouldn't it make sense that Bastion makes it to that future to basically give birth to himself to create the process that would create himself in like a cycle? You know what I mean?
Right, right.
So if I were to guess, Bastion in some form is alive in the far future by being time displaced that would lead to his own creation, which I'm just guessing. I don't exactly remember if that was the what happened in the comic book, but that's what I'm guessing where they're taking us.
Well, it's funny because I mean I don't know if anybody else noticed, but
Mm-hmm.
Bastion, his last form, it kind of reminded me of Onslaught. So I was thinking what was going to happen is that Xavier. So Xavier is in Magneto's mind at this moment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I thought that with Bastion being like disabled
Mm-hmm.
and pretty much being in the vicinity,
Mm-hmm.
that Onslaught was going to get born because it looked like Magneto was going to die. It seemed as if he was like, "Hey, I'm Magneto." Like at that one point, they're like, "Hey, I'm Magneto," or blah blah blah, or he's saying his real name. And Charles is like, "Well, I'm so and so," and then something happened, and he's like, "Well, I'm actually Magneto, and I'm here to save you," and blah blah. And he had that big energy pulse. I
Mm-hmm.
was thinking that something was going to happen to him, and he was going to die, and then like at the last second his mind was going to transfer into Bastion along with Charles and then come to be Onslaught, right? That obviously didn't happen, but I
Mm-hmm.
was kind of surprised by how they went about it, to be fair. So that was one thing I was really expecting because I think in the previous episodes, we had talked about Onslaught,
Mm-hmm.
and Onslaught has not been shown in the X-Men 97 universe yet. So
No.
I was like, okay, well, hell, are they gonna do something like completely out of the realm and change it up and so forth? And they didn't. I was like, Onslaught would have been an awesome character for them to show off. So that didn't happen, of course, and everybody got transported to their different times. Um, I was a little bit surprised by how much. Well, I mean, at the beginning of these 3-part episodes,
Mm-hmm.
it seemed like Cyclops was kind of going off on the edge, where he was like, "Yo, fuck you guys, fuck you, Professor, fuck you, X-Men. I'm about to go
Mm-hmm.
home," because he was hurt, destroyed by Genosha and everything
Mm-hmm.
else. So I thought he was really about to go on his own fucking way, and I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh shit!" Like Scott is about to leave. Blah
Mm-hmm.
blah. Him and Jean Grey are gonna break up, and this and the other. Of course,
Shit.
they're a big fucking happy family and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But I really thought like things were going to go a totally different way than how they turned out in this. Um, but they came back together, blah blah blah, fought Bastion. The one thing I did notice is that they reverted back to their old costumes as
Yeah.
well, and that
Yeah.
was a
A lot of
surprise.
great fan service there.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
obviously fan service at that point
yeah.
because there's no reason for them to turn into their old costumes other than
Uh,
just fan
yeah.
service.
No,
So
it was purely fan service. It was just like the the creators just having fun with things that we want to see as X-Men fans. But yeah, it was great to see Wolverine and the original Brown and the Cyclops and Marvel Girl and their outfits. And then Jubilee got a new outfit as well. So
mhm,
like, dude, future outfits. I hope that as much as I like the old outfits, I really like their X-Men 97 original stuff that they had.
yeah,
Cyclops, like, I love that look for him. So, Wolverine, man, the classic orange or sorry, classic yellow and blue.
yeah,
That's just
can't go wrong with that.
you can't go wrong with it. But I love the brown and orange. I mean, it's a cool look,
Yeah.
and I'm glad we got to see it in animation. I mean, I know we've seen it before, but this was cool, and him full on that moment where he stabs that fight where he stabs Magneto back.
Yeah,
That whole fight sequence was awesome.
yeah, that was.
The where he uh, throws the helmet onto Charles's head, like
Mhm,
starts to crush. So many
yeah,
cool little moments in
yeah,
that I was like, ah, what a cool. And then they cut that fight simultaneously cut to the fight with Mr. Sinister,
Mhm.
and Cyclops' mind is going back and forth.
Mhm.
Such a cool idea where he's like, there are two teams
Yeah.
trying to one has to achieve one goal before the other, and he could tell that they're not ready yet, so he pulls a, like, yeah, there are a lot of cool moments like that. I was just like, this is peak, man. This is good shit.
Yeah, no, the whole thing of Cyclops like stopping the fight and says, you know, they're pretty much about to I think it was with not Cyclops, Magneto.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they're about to
They're
crack his
about
mind.
yeah, they're about to be done.
Yeah, and then he's
And he's
like,
like, nah, they're not ready.
They're not
Yeah.
ready. Like they need more time. I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
That was a cool way to kind of bridge together all the things, separate things that were happening, right?
Yeah.
Because you know you have the fight with Jean, um,
Mhm.
Jean with Mr. Sinister and
Yep.
so forth, and then you had the fight, once again with Magneto, really cool, or in Bastion and everything else,
Mhm.
really really cool. Was not expecting that,
Mhm.
and for them to be cross referencing fights and all of them happening at the exact same time,
Yeah.
that was really cool for them to do, and I think that was also like the main. I'm not gonna lie. I think everybody loves Wolverine. Everybody loves what Wolverine does. And
Yep.
as soon as Wolverine gets into a fight, everybody starts, jacking off like, oh my God, it's Wolverine.
As you should.
Yeah,
you
as we should. Absolutely. The fact that Wolverine was able to land a hit on Magneto from the back, even though Magneto's fighting like,
Yeah.
a portion of X-Men, which is badass in of itself. But the
Yeah.
fact that Wolverine was able to get a solid hit on Magneto
Yeah.
and wasn't even thinking of, I mean, because if you truly think about it, Magneto is literally the opposite of Wolverine.
Yeah.
So the fact that he was able to get a hit on Magneto and Magneto freaking snapped on him, and
Well,
is
how
like,
how long has Wolverine been wanting to get that hit in? Like, to
yeah,
get that moment, to get his claws into Magneto. Like, how many times have they fought? How many times has he come close? How many times has Magneto just done this to him?
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
right,
it was the moment. It was the distraction. It was Xavier. It was like 50 things happening at once. That, oh man, that moment where he goes right through him.
yeah,
And then that line where he says, I think he says like heroes are the first to die.
absolutely.
In war, heroes are the
First
first
to
to
die,
die.
yeah.
Yeah, it was just like, I was like, oh man, what a cool, like, there so many good lines too in this series in general.
Yeah,
But the writing was so spot on.
yeah, no, it was great, and
Yeah.
I don't, honestly, I can't say any line in this past 3 episodes was wasted. I felt like these lines were meaningful, they
Yeah.
had purpose, and I honestly enjoyed it. It was a great
Yeah.
time. It makes me sad now because we've been hyping up 97 for so long,
Yeah.
and now we've
Years.
gotten it. Yeah, years.
Years. Yeah.
Now we finally got it, and now it's over. And it's like, fuck. Now we gotta wait X amount of time. And I'm hoping that it doesn't take a whole lot to narrate the next season, but we probably
Mhm.
won't get another season until next year, which
And
kind of pisses me off.
next year, hey, the quality of animation is tip top. So what I believe that 3 seasons are already fully written. I think what I was
Really?
reading. Yeah. So the guy who left the showrunner,
Mm-hmm.
I think he's involved in more than one season. Like, he was there, he mapped out a good portion of where this show is going.
Mm-hmm.
But like, obviously the animation is not done. So the animation probably, who knows how long that will take, but as far as the plot goes, the plot has been written for a couple seasons, I think.
Gotcha.
So, which would be great. But yeah, what did you think of shoot, I wish Green Tuner was here for this, but what did you think of all the surprise cameos from the Marvel Universe in the last
Yes.
2 episodes? Uh the fucking 90s Spider-Man from the
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man animated series. If the costume didn't confirm him, he later showed up with Peter Parker and Mary Jane in their exact appearance that they were in every episode.
Yes.
Absolutely. How great is it that we are in that universe? Like, that 90s Spider-Man
You
is
piece
right
of shit.
there.
Starting to talk about the other stuff without me.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. We tried to
Yeah.
hold off.
We were about to end the show too. Like,
Yeah,
I was trying to get. I was just fucking get there. Like, fuck it, let's get there.
Stretch
Yeah.
it out, goddammit.
What do you think about the cameos? The sweet Marvel Universe cameos. There's a lot of them in the
Yeah.
new episode.
It was
too.
cool to see them, but it was useless. Just how I
Yeah.
like it.
I mean, okay, I was gonna say, I was like, it was cool that we got to see all these cameos, right? We got to see Silver Samurai, Omega Red, and so forth. So we got to see like a lot of these people.
Dude, I fucking love Omega Red.
Yeah, I fucking love it.
Ever since the stupid Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Like I just love that character.
Yeah.
And yeah, seeing him in this, I was like, oh shit, Omega Red. And I'm like, am I seeing thing or is he defending a person? Like, what's going on here?
I don't know exactly.
Like protect that guy behind them. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, it was a quick scene. I got to rewatch that episode because it was just like I
the cameos were like just it was a fucking shotgun of cameos.
Psylocke, yeah.
Alpha Flight.
Ooh, Alpha Flight.
90s Iron Man was in there, like from the 90s cartoon.
90s Iron Man, yes.
So who else was in it? Daredevil and
Captain
Cloak
America. You saw Captain America.
Yeah. Doctor Strange was
performing surgery.
Surgery. Yeah. Cloak and Dagger, which I said was cool.
Cloak and Dagger.
Very 90s.
Really boring character.
90s. Very 90s.
Really boring, but very 90s. Like they were their purpose was in the Maximum Carnage series. So
we got to see, like I said, I mean, again, Spider-Man and Mary Jane. There were so many. Yeah, there was a lot of cool things that before we never got to see.
Oh, Swamp Thing was amazing. Swamp Thing was amazing.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Swamp Thing was in there.
No, he wasn't.
Oscar the Grouch was great.
Yeah. Oscar the Grouch.
Oscar the Grouch, yeah.
Oscar.
It did seem like Silver Samurai was pissed off that the power went out and he just stood there till the power came
on. I saw with Silver Samurai.
Well, I saw his face. Yeah. He was, it was all dark. The power wasn't on. And then it came back on. He was just like,
he was like, come in, Silver Samurai, come inside. The power's never coming back on. He's like, nope, I'm not leaving.
No, I must stare.
Damn. Yeah.
Like, for some reason, he was outside for whatever reason.
So I'm assuming Silver Samurai is riding the same gravy train that the other Marvel vs. Capcom 2 characters, right? Because who has any interest in Silver Samurai? Really, aside from his design.
Yeah, he's just a Wolverine villain. You know what I mean? Other than that, like fucking,
he's like super generic.
I mean, we got to see the Hulk.
Classic villain of what? Did we see the Hulk?
Yeah.
The Hulk is in there.
Morph. That's another.
I'll count it.
Which is weird because it's like he turned into the Hulk. Like of all the heroes he could turn into, he turned into the Hulk and was smashing everything. Yeah. And I'm just like, that's just it was very uncommon. Right?
It was uncommon, but it's one of the things that they didn't need to do. Like a encumbered continuity and license encumbered showrunners could not be like, oh, we don't have access to Hulk or Marvel won't let us. This just like I love the feel of this series where they're like, yeah, do whatever you want. Like, you know what I mean? Like fucking nothing like if it's in the Marvel universe in the 90s, you can use it. Like it doesn't really matter. So they're not like held back by like a movie coming out or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They could do whatever the fuck they want. He became Mr. Fantastic in the end because he wasn't getting sucked out of the hole. You guys see that?
Wait, he turned to Mr. Fantastic?
Morph turned into Mr. Fantastic, the 90s cartoon version of him with the dark blue outfit where he got stuck in the hole. He was stretching out from the asteroid M, there's a breach and the everything gets pulled out into the space. You see him become Mr. Fantastic.
I'm looking at the. Oh, he does.
He does.
I mean,
it's so
quick.
Just
don't remember.
It's in there.
It's really, really.
I mean, it's real.
I believe you. Well, again, it was like a smorgasbord of like cameos.
Oh yeah.
There was a ton of them. Yeah.
Smorgasbord.
Yeah, but like fucking. Yeah, it's a 5-head vocabulary.
Yeah, right.
Right now.
Really?
No, it's not. It's not.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's pretty. No, Green Tuner, you didn't really get a chance to gush over like the 3-parter, the finale as a whole. What did you think of it? How'd you like it?
I really liked it. I wish they would have just killed the X-Men, the original ones.
Yeah,
really take a chance and just like kill the original ones and make it about like the new generation, the younger mutants or something.
Mhm.
But obviously that's not gonna happen. Now they're gonna introduce what's his name, the immortal guy,
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse, yeah.
Apocalypse.
I don't know
Yeah,
his real name, but yeah.
he said it in the
he
thing, but
said
I
it
already
there.
forgot.
Sabur.
In
In
Saber, yeah,
Sabur
something
or
like,
whatever. Yeah,
yeah,
Istanbul, whatever. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, Apocalypse got killed in the third season of the. He got killed by being destroyed by, I think, time itself. I forgot what it was, but and it was cool that they were like when I think it was Forge or somebody says like where the X-Men goes, like they were like as if, oh no, Bishop says, um,
Bishop.
Bishop, he shows up in the end and says, it's not a matter of where the X Men are, it's when the X Men are, and it's somebody took the X Men,
Okay.
and that somebody obviously is Apocalypse, and all the time periods you're seeing are important time periods in Apocalypse's existence. So I'm guessing the next season will be Apocalypse, and what Creamcast said, probably Onslaught will be, those two will be important in the next season.
Yeah, I
Um,
can see that.
yeah, for sure. I think that I hope we'll see. I have total faith in this the crew that made this, so I'm really excited for the next season.
Green Chair, what else were you saying? You're about to say something.
No, I think that's about it.
Oh, okay. I
I
thought
mean, yeah, I liked it. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing beyond that, to be honest.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, there we go. I mean, let's give our blurries really quick.
I'd say give your blurries for. I mean, are we gonna? I want to say. I'll do this.
Just let's do it for the whole season, right?
Yeah, I would say for the whole
The
season.
season as a whole.
Yeah.
But I'd say for the 3-part finale, I would say uh, it's like a 9, and then as a whole, it's a 10. It's a 10 for me.
For the 3-part series, I would give it honestly, I would probably give it a 9. For the entire X-Men, I would probably give it a 10 as well. This is damn near perfect, right? Maybe 9.5.
You guys, I think you guys hated the video game one with what's his name? Mondoverse.
I liked it. You guys were shitting all. Well, you were
No, I
shitting
didn't say
all over it,
I didn't
but
say I didn't like it. I mean, I thought
yeah.
I maybe it wasn't the greatest of all time. That's why I said I might give it like a 9.5.
I like the
But
Mondo stuff. I didn't like the Storm side of that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So overall, I don't think I enjoyed every episode of the X-Men. So I couldn't give it as a series a 10. I'd probably do the whole series as a 8.5.
Okay.
And the last 3 as a 9.
Okay.
yeah, I'll say I feel better with mine giving mine a 9.5. Absolutely
For the whole series.
for the whole series, yeah.
Okay.
There were some things I didn't like. I didn't like the little Hispanic dude and with his family.
Sunspot?
Yeah, only because he was all at first they made it first about him, and then his family was just like the next day his family was like, all right, give him to the Sentinels. And then that was just it. Yeah, but no, this was a phenomenal series. This is a series that you definitely could write home about. Really good stuff, and I just like I said, I really enjoyed it. So
I also think all the reasons you guys said, I think like it lived up to the hype. I think that's not easy to do for something that's like 2 years, 3 years in the making. Whatever Disney Plus was launched, like this was Mandalorian season 1 is when this series was announced.
yeah,
So it's been that long in
yeah,
production. So to stick the landing, um, I gotta hand it to them, especially also when you're playing on a lot of people's nostalgia, and nail it. The Magneto storyline alone is so, it doesn't need to be this good, and it's that good. And all the little storylines that they've woven together, I don't think they dropped the ball anywhere. I really, even the, like I said, the Storm thing, I don't think, I think it's dull. I didn't like it, but she had an arc.
Yeah.
Storm had an arc, and that was essential. If you take that out, it messes with that arc. The Jubilee Mojoverse, I like that because I like the Mojoverse. So like,
Sure.
I'm glad it was reduced to 15 minutes. But other than that, every episode hit in some capacity, and I love how the series started from like, remember this nostalgia to evolving into something that was totally different. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it grew up as the series went on. So yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's a 10 for me for sure. Loved it.
Yeah, I think overall, yeah, everybody had their individual stories that came up. Even Wolverine, with Magneto, he got his lick in.
Yep.
Everybody had their own individual stories, and everybody had their own individual. Only person, well, I guess the only person that didn't have a really good story was Morph. But Morph was, as you can kind of tell, Morph is struggling in other ways.
Morph's story, he did get a good story if you connect him to the original series. Like, he got like his, like, he's finally integrated back into the team, because that was a struggle through the entire original series.
Mhm.
And Ed's not here. I really wanted to know how Ed felt. It was one of the reasons why Ed might not be here. Rogue referred to Morph as they them in the
Oh,
episode.
did they?
Yeah,
Oh,
and I wanted to know what Ed's reaction was.
Well, that's because Disney's just trying to cave in
Yeah, big time. So
to just pressure from the feminazis.
true.
Mhm.
In that capacity, I will go ahead and officially review X-Men 97 on behalf of Ed Underground. And I will say he didn't like it. He gave it
No.
a 4.5 respectively.
yeah, that sounds like
Bit
it.
harsh at Underground, big harsh.
Really
I
harsh.
think just for the they them remark really dropped it big time. Extreme, some would say, but you know what? Ed Underground is, we're lucky he didn't walk out. So
Yeah, that's true.
4.5 from the Ed Underground. Wow.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I mean, we could not expect anything less from the Ed Underground, but it is what it is. So,
Yep.
outside of that, I mean, do you guys have anything else you want to say on this podcast, or?
No, just fucking blur you later.
Blur you later.
Well, no, we got to do an outro. I mean, I'm the man that does the outro.
Do
Okay.
the outro.
Oh,
hey,
yeah, sorry,
jeez.
we forgot. God
Jeez.
damn it.
All right.
You know what? This is all Ed's fault.
Yeah, this is.
Well.
All right, guys. So this is episode 124 of the Blrd podcast. You can catch us on all major streaming platforms, including twitch.tv/the Blrd podcast, where you can watch us live every weekday at Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Yeah.
CST.
So EST. So until next time, catch you later, blur you later, and you guys have a great night.
Bye bye.
All right. Peace, guys.
Bay.
Bye bye. Blur you later.